Welcome to Primetime News right here on KUTV. Of course, a lot has been happening in the country the entire day, including the National Prayer Breakfast meeting that was held today at Safari Park Hotel. Of course, President William Ruto, alongside other government officials, attended. We have stories on this and many more, including this. President Ruto presides over first national prayer breakfast under his tenure, calls for national unity. Ruto defends finance bill, asks legislators to vote yes once tabled on the floor of the House. The bill seeks to lease public assets to private investors for better utilization. And Kindiki oversees Maliza Uhalifu operation in Turkana, promises to revamp facilities destroyed by bandits. Our sign language interpreter this evening is Sami Okello. My name is Joseph KEES. We are also live on YouTube at KUTV Kenya, and you can share with us your feedback on Twitter at KUTV_Kenya and at KEES Joseph Kenya. Now, the National Prayer Breakfast meeting has been held today at the Safari Park Hotel, marking the 20th edition since the series began in 2003. During today's prayer breakfast, President William Ruto urged Kenyans to work with him towards achieving his vision of reuniting the nation, as he emphasized on his intentions to support at least 7 million Kenyans who live in informal settlements to get decent settlements. Other leaders at the meeting also encouraged harmony among Kenyans for nation building. Yvonne Kimuma reports.
The culminations of the day's National Prayer Breakfast marks the 20th edition of the prayer meetings. This is as it is expected that the prayer meetings will take place every last Thursday of the month of May. During today's meeting, President Ruto continued to urge Kenyans to work with him in his vision to reunite Kenya, as he promised to continue working with leaders from all political divides to enhance development.
And in that working together, it is not necessary that we will always agree, but it is important that we work together towards the betterment of our country.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, on his part, encouraged forgiveness as a powerful tool towards reconciliation, urging Kenyans to reconcile with God and their neighbors. The DP also reflected on the happenings of the previous prayer meeting held last year, which he says was to some extent toxic and filled with tension due to high political temperatures.
The last prayer breakfast here was a very toxic affair, full of tension and hatred. The president today, who was deputy president, could not sit on the same table.
Speaker of the National Assembly Moses Wetangula reassured Kenyans that Parliament will continue to back any reconciliation initiatives led by the government within its role of oversight, representation and legislation, further urging leaders to fulfill their responsibilities as custodians of the nation.
A few examples of how this country has reconciled itself many times include: 1. Soon after independence, Kano and Kado engaged in some form of reconciliation and collapsed into one party, with Kado crossing the floor without occasioning any by-elections.
Today's National Prayer Breakfast meeting was held at Safari Park Hotel based on the theme reconciliation. The first prayer meeting was held in 2003. The gathering will be organized annually on every last Thursday of May. Yvonne Kimuma, KUTV.
At the same time, President William Ruto has yet again defended the taxation policies implemented in the proposed finance bill for the year 2023-2024, saying they will aid in the economic turnaround. The president, who accompanied other government dignitaries to attend the National Prayer Breakfast, called upon leaders to work together towards the betterment of the country. The president has at the same time encouraged legislators to consider passing the proposed finance bill once it is tabled before them. Edward Nyamo with more.
Members of Parliament, including those from the opposition, attended the National Breakfast Prayers, which was graced by His Excellency William Samoei Ruto, who stressed on the 3% house levy. According to the President, the money will be used to facilitate in housing the less fortunate.
As we participate in this important debate on the finance bill, let us ask God to open our eyes and enable us clearly see the real choices that we have to make.
The head of state also pleaded with the members of Parliament to consider passing the finance bill tabled in Parliament, saying it seeks to ensure that the less privileged are catered for, lamenting that the government is doing all it can to ease the debt crisis in the country.
We had the most evident issue-based election. The election was about issues. There are issues that we differed. Our brothers on the other side, for example, said borrowing money was good because we were using other people's money to run our development, which made some sense. We argued on our side that we needed to slow down on borrowing because borrowing could lead us to a different place. But we also had occasion when both formations agreed, like for example, on housing.
President Ruto also pointed out that his government has put in place policy interventions to help in boosting the export zone and also to promote manufacturing in the country.
We all agree that our agricultural land is threatened by subdivision, and food insecurity is a reality. That is why we have a conversation about the high cost of living. We need to do something about it. We all agree that borrowing is not the way out of our current situation.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua on his part joined hands with the President, highlighting the Kenya Kwanza regime is ready to work together with the leaders from different sides, no matter their differences, and that the government is gearing up on stabilizing the economy.
When the President of Kenya says we need to make a contribution to provide shelter to those that do not have it, are we vultures? If he says that we need to provide support so that our children can go to school, and we stand up and say, I have educated my children, I therefore do not need to contribute to any education fund, are we being vultures?
However, the National Breakfast Prayers was not attended by the opposition principals despite being invited, who had yesterday evening released a statement declining the invite. Edward Nyamo, KUTV.
And the privatization bill, which repeals the Privatization Act 2005, received the first reading in Parliament upon the resumption of the National Assembly proceedings. The bill aims at boosting economic growth and efficiency in the country by leasing the public assets to private investors. It seeks to streamline the process of privatization and allow the sale of state-owned enterprises to private investors to encourage competition, attract foreign investment, and unlock true potential of entities.
The National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah tabled the Privatization Bill 2023 that seeks to streamline the process of privatization and allow the sales of state-owned enterprises to private investors to encourage competition, attract foreign investment, and unlock the true potential of the entities. This comes after the Minority Leader Opiyo Wandayi had objected the plans to sell state-owned parastatal to private investors without the approval of the National Assembly. Some of the corporations that the government has earmarked for privatization include sugar companies, hotels, agrochemical and food companies, consolidated banks, some public universities and ports, among others. Concerning the unemployment rate that may arise upon the implementation of the bill, Ichunga said they will ensure maintenance of employees by private sectors and absorption of significant portion of the workforce. The National Assembly Majority Leader affirmed to his fellow MPs that the bill is a crucial step towards economic growth and prosperity, noting that the privatization will inject new life into the struggling state-owned enterprises and pave a way for increased efficiency and competitiveness. Zena Odhiambo, KUTV.
And Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Machogu has today been put on the grill by the National Assembly over the cash crisis facing the education sector. Members of the National Assembly in today's questioning session raised concerns over the delay by government to finance junior secondary and high school operations, almost causing schools to close down. Monene Weru with that report.
Booming crisis in schools has almost ballooned into a whole education sector shutdown, with junior, secondary and high school principals threatening to close shop. During the questioning session at the National Assembly, MPs raised concerns over a raft of challenges, mostly in the recently rolled out CBC curriculum. According to Emuhaya MP Omboko Milemba, food has become more expensive in the worsening state of the economy, and the government urged to arrest the matter lest learning will not take place.
Is the Cabinet Secretary aware, Honourable Speaker, that schools are on the verge of closing because of lack of food, especially the high schools? And if so, what measures is he undertaking to make sure that capitation is sent to our schools so that they don't close down? Currently, Honourable Speaker, school heads are negotiating with students on meals to jump and even for fate.
After schools raised concerns last month over delayed cash appropriation, the Cabinet Secretary for Education Ezekiel Machogu vowed to fill the schools' coffers by 2nd of June. Up to now, nothing has been disbursed, and the public schools are reeling in abject cashlessness. Today, the CS was put on the grill in Parliament, and he sure did make another pledge: a full cash disbursement beginning Thursday tomorrow.
I've had an engagement with the Principal Secretary of National Treasury, because it's an issue that is not only concerning me, but the entire country. And I wish to report to the honorable members and the country as a whole that indeed he has confirmed that by tomorrow the funds will be in the ministry, and then thereafter we will be able to disperse the same to all our schools countrywide.
The schools and government dreadlock has been worsened by an upward trajectory of the cost of living. Despite the rise in price of basic commodities, budgetary allocations to schools have been slashed vehemently, and the education sector is yet to experience the worst. Munene Weru, KUTV.
And the National Assembly has today approved nominees Noordin Haji as the National Intelligence Service Director General, as well as Kamau Thuge as the Central Bank of Kenya Governor, after they underwent vetting on Tuesday during the approval hearing. Haji and Thuge, who were nominated by President William Ruto, met all the requirements of Chapter 6 of the Constitution on leadership and integrity, according to Parliament.
Noordin Haji has been cleared as an eligible appointment by Parliament after he submitted all the clearance certificates required for his approval, together with several entities submitted in favor of him. Most of the cases filed against him at the Public Service Commission, which could be a barrier, had been withdrawn since they were not given on oath and therefore not admissible. Kamau Thuge, on the other hand, who exhibited knowledge and competency in monetary policy, fiscal policy, finance, and economic matters, has been found fit for CBK governor. After considering the suitability, capacity, and integrity of the nominee, his nomination as the governor of the Central Bank of Kenya was approved. Kamau Thuge is set to take over from Dr. Patrick Njoroge mid this month.
Laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 6 June 2023, and pursuant to Section 13(1) of the Central Bank of Kenya Act, Cap. 491 and Section 81 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act 2011, this House approves the appointment of Dr. Kamau Thuge, CBS, as the Governor of the Central Bank of Kenya.
Nordin Haji had been questioned over withdrawing high-profile cases as the Director of Public Prosecutions, to which he said he did so not under pressure, as purported, but in compliance with the Constitution. Kamau Thuge was also fired over links to Aurora and Kimorer dams, which he was later cleared by the court of any wrongdoing. Any cases linked to the both of them were cleared and they had not been charged in a court of law. The approval of Kamau Thuge and Nordin Haji has been made successful after preventing by the Financial and Planning Committee and the Committee of Defense, respectively. Ivy Bina, KUTV.
All right, that story from the National Assembly takes us on our first break tonight. We'll be back with more. Stay with us.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audiovisual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
Lola is an app that gives you a chance to watch videos, listen to audios, and read articles wherever you are for free. Motivational stories, dramas, campus life, technology, lifestyle, adventure, sports, academics, jobs, entertainment, and more. Download Lola now on Play Store. All you need, you got Lola.
All right, welcome back to the broadcasts. Let us continue with our coverage. Now, Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki has today visited Turkana County to oversee the progress of Maliza Uhalifu operation by police officers in conjunction with Kenya Defence Forces. Kindiki has also addressed a baraza in Lokori and promised to reconstruct schools that had been vandalized by bandits, as well as establish 4 new administrative units in different sub-counties within the county.
At exactly 8 a.m., Professor Kithure Kindiki landed in Turkana County and was received by Turkana County Governor Jeremiah Lomukai, accompanied by a number of Kenya Defence Force officers. Straight to Lokori GSU camp in Turkana County, Kindiki congratulated and motivated the frontline officers in the Maliza Uhalifu operation for executing the assignment given with utmost professionalism, diligence, and patriotism. During a baraza at Lokori in Turkana East constituency, the CS promised the people of Turkana the establishment of 4 new administrative units in 4 sub-counties in Turkana to facilitate accessible, affordable, and expeditious delivery of services in Turkana County.
Ili tuboreshe usalama hapa, ni lazima tuongeze idadi ya maeneo ya utawala. Lazima tuongeze idadi ya maeneo ya utawala.
Kindiki also promised that all schools in Turkana East constituency that were raided and vandalized by bandits and armed criminals, among them Napetium, Nadome, Lokidongiru and Ngilukia, will be immediately reconstructed.
Kwa niaba ya serikali ya Kenya, nataka nitangaze hivi. Shule ya Napeitom, shule ya Nadome, shule ya Lokidongitu, shule ya Nyelukia, hizi shule zitafunguliwa, tutazijenga, tutarejesha masomo pale.
According to Kindiki, the government will spend cash 20 billion to equip security teams with technology and equipment, including vehicles and planes, as well as skills with specialized formations handling crimes such as terrorism, cross-border crime and banditry, to boost the capacity of security officers in handling emerging and modern-day security concerns. Salma Saleh, KUTV.
And Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has asked the United Nations to expand the office in Nairobi for efficiency and effectiveness in delivery on its mandate. During a reception for delegates attending the second session of the United Nations Habitat Assembly on Tuesday evening at the UN complex Gigiri, Gachagua said that the government of Kenya will provide affordable houses through private-public partnership and salary contributions to the housing fund.
Speaking at the United Nations complex at Gigiri, during a reception for delegates attending the second session of the United Nations Habitat Assembly, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua saying that while the government is implementing affordable housing project, it will ensure to reduce environmental destruction.
This assembly is happening at a time when we, in Kenya, are engaged in a vibrant debate on provision of adequate and affordable housing for our people. We believe that provision of housing for all is key in promoting sound health, dignity, safety, security, inclusion, and social well-being of our citizens.
The DP saying that the government of Kenya will provide these affordable and worthy houses through public-private partnership and salary contributions to the housing fund.
Besides adopting the public-private partnership model, we are pooling resources in the housing fund for affordable homes across the nation. This has been factored in the Finance Bill 2023. Unemployed Kenyans are expected to contribute 3% of their salaries to this fund.
The Executive Director of the United Nations Housing Plan, Maimuna Sharif, will end the demonstrations, noting that the houses built using low carbon aim to preserve the environment as well as providing better housing to the citizens, especially those living in slums.
Done that the house is on site in the informal settlement, or what you call it here, slum. They don't relocate the slum dwellers to other place in order to do that, but they do it phases by phases. And the people there are looking at the process.
Sharif says that the native-based solutions and local material systems of building houses will reduce carbon emissions, saying that they are ready to work with the government of Kenya to replicate the constructions of the low-carbon affordable houses.
To say thank you again and hope that we can replicate it here in Kenya, and UN Habitat is here ready to work together with you. So thank you so much.
The government of Kenya has urged the United Nations to support developing countries in upgrading to better and sustainable housing projects. James Murekimanda, KUTV.
And Nyamira County Assembly is the latest to close down indefinitely over payroll. A number of county assemblies in the country have opted to halt operations in a bid to compel the national government to increase the salaries of members of county assembly. Nakuru and Embu county assemblies are among those that have suspended house sittings. Joseph Oyomo with that report.
Nyamira County Assembly has been closed indefinitely in MCA's push for better pay. The county has joined the ongoing countrywide protest by ward bosses in bid to compel the national government to review their earnings.
That with as many of the similar opinion that this House
bid to compel the national government to review their earnings. The rule comes at a time that the counties are facing cash crunch over delayed disbursement of funds by the national government. The ward representatives have vowed to stay away from the assembly until their fresh demands are fully addressed.
Further, aware that the resolutions include the establishment of a ward development fund and a county affirmative action fund for nominated MCAs, members of the county assemblies, Mr. Speaker. The granting of financial autonomy of the county assemblies, the view of the remuneration and the benefits of the members of the county assembly, and the reinstatement, plenary sittings, and mileage allowances, among others, Mr. Speaker.
MCA's allowances were scrapped by the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, and salaries downscaled from 124,000 to 86,000 before statutory deductions. Besides pay, Embu MCAs are also demanding for the establishment of a ward development fund and a county affirmative action fund for nominated MCAs to help devolve resources to the grassroots. The MCAs decry that it is currently impossible to execute checks or balances on county governments, as the governors control all the monies in the counties and are pushing to be granted financial autonomy to enable them to oversight the county executive effectively. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, during the 20th Intergovernmental Budget and Economic Council meeting on Monday, assured the county governors that they will receive the outstanding 94.3 billion disbursement for April, May and June before the end of the week. The Council of Governors, led by the Finance Committee Chair Fernandez Baraza, have since pleaded with the National Treasury to honor this pledge and release the funds by Friday. The MCA's move comes as a defiance of directives by UDA Secretary General Cleopas Malala to keep off boycott of assembly sitting in the push for better pay. Joseph Oyomo, KUTV.
Right, let's take a look at what is happening in the world of sports, where the Secretary General of Kenya Tennis Federation, Wanjiru Karani Mbugo, has confirmed that the federation is fully prepared and ready to host the Billie Jean King Cup as from June 12 to 17 at the Nairobi Club. The tournament has attracted various nations including Mauritius, Zimbabwe, Seychelles, Morocco and Burundi, which are expected in the country by Sunday. Kenya Tennis national team head coach Francis Rogoi yesterday unveiled the ladies' 6-member squad that will represent Kenya in the Billie Jean King tournament. The squad includes Africa's highest-ranked player and Wimbledon junior doubles champion Angela Okutoi, who is expected to inspire the team with her experience and leadership as they attempt to secure the prestigious cup.
Kenya is extremely excited to be hosting the Billie Jean King Cup, and we are all systems go. The venue and logistical items are all on course, and teams and officials will begin arriving on Thursday. Just to note, some players are going to be arriving here from Roland Garros Junior Open, so that's quite exciting. On Thursday, we have Morocco arriving. We have on Friday, Mauritius and Seychelles. We have Saturday arrivals, Botswana, Ghana, Namibia, Tunisia, Uganda, Nigeria, and Zimbabwe. And on Sunday, we have Burundi arriving.
And all roads lead to Czech Republic at the Prague Eden Arena for the Europa Conference League final that will feature English side West Ham and Italian side Fiorentina. David Moyes' boys, West Ham, are the favourites to lift the trophy, having registered an exemplary performance in the European competition with 13 wins and 1 draw. Both teams are longing to end their long trophyless drought of over 15 years with the European Cup glory up for grabs. Right, that brings us to the end of our bulletin tonight. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Our sign language interpreter has been Sami Okello. My name is Joseph KEES. Until we meet again next time, enjoy the rest of your week.